I actually never went to a deaf school.
Inocencio Zendemela, who is deaf, traveled from Mozambique to study educational psychology in New York.
Because the schools for the deaf in my country only go up to grade 5. So all of my schooling was with hearing children.
I did not get any accommodations in my classes, but then I never asked for them.
Layla Farouk, who has albinism, traveled from Pakistan to study political science in Missouri.
Because I kind of didn't know what I wanted. I couldn't see the board, but that had just always been such a given that I relied on other people taking notes for me.
The National Clearinghouse on Disability and Exchange presents Bridging Differences at Home and in the USA.
On a typical U.S. campus, it's common for an international participant to have a sign language interpreter in the classroom, to live in an accessible dorm room, to ride an accessible bus in the community. The National Clearinghouse on Disability and Exchange has amazing resources for international participants.
Cerise Roth Vincent from Mobility International USA.
We have an entire section about coming to the U.S. that talks about how the Americans with Disabilities Act protects them.
There's much more access and there's an awareness of my limitations.
Pedro Castillo, who is an amputee, traveled from Colombia to study screenwriting in Illinois.
And things are built for people, the Disability Act. You see it like something not only on paper, but that is actual, tangible.
At the university, I like the way that disability is kind of institutionalized. So there is a department at the university that deals with it. It wasn't just about other people helping you, but you sort of managing with your disability.
Education is so much more than just accommodations.
Naila Clinton, who has a learning disability and attention deficit, traveled from Trinidad and Tobago to study educational psychology in New York.
It's about creating a framework and an environment and an overall mentality that education is something that everybody can have. I've always been able to perform at my best capability, and I guess maybe it might be the structure of the program itself and it being a smaller classrooms and that type of thing.
I was actually very used to people turning around to look at me because that's how my life has always been. And then I came to the US and nobody turned around to look at me. In terms of independent living and inclusion, I am definitely more aware and more confident about things here than I was back home. I have more resources here.
It's very important not only to get the education, but also be part of the fundamental rights of any society.
Explore the possibilities. Contact us at www.mayusa.org/NCDE or email us at clearinghouse@mayusa.org. Follow us at #access2USA on Twitter at MobilityINTL and on Facebook at mobility.international. The National Clearinghouse on Disability and Exchange is sponsored by the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the U.S. Department of State.